Hello and welcome to episode 37 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough here in cycle 43, day 3. Thankfully, no longer in an absolute disaster scenario regarding food, but there's always room for improvement, and we have gotten plenty of that accomplished lately, and obviously still going to continue working on that. But, you know, the map is really starting to come together. We haven't messed with this area too much, but at some point we probably will need to get into that, and of course I see this guy has no longer any scrap metal to collect over here unless we went over to this area. So I'm not going to delete this one yet, but I am going to hit stop clicking on the beaver. I am going to, nope, click on the flag. There we go. I'm going to hit pause so that beaver can go do something else. And we're going to do a little bit of fixing today, a little bit of improvements, a little bit of planning for the future. So just going right down the list. From last episode, we talked about doing stuff with the agronomists. We did manage to make a couple of bachelors in agronomy last time. We can't really use them, though, until we unlock the GMO growing lab, which of course requires science that we haven't gotten yet, and also that glowing fluid that comes from the giant firefly thing, which is currently under construction. And then we are also in the process of getting some insect larvae from the jungle beavers, and then polar beavers, frozen human meat, which again, we're just not going to ask any questions. They're going to take care of that hopefully at some point today. But we are in the process of making masters in metallurgy, which is going to allow us to build the high temperature foundry, which is crucial to get some stuff like glass and also make a lot more scrap metal a lot faster. But of course, that's all going to just take time, and we'll come back to that when the time is correct. Moving on past that, we also adjusted a whole bunch of jobs, and we probably could continue doing a little bit of that. But for the time being, as far as food is concerned, we're in a position where we can start to think about maybe organizing some stuff better and not necessarily just, all right, well, we have to have a whole bunch of food right now or all the beavers are going to die. So we'll continue with that. We got different improvements we can make to some of these farm layouts, and especially right here, this set of farmhouses probably could have a pretty good improvement on range if I put another staircase in on this side. So I think that's going to be a smart thing for us to do. We do have a limited amount of dynamite, but in this scenario, I think it's probably worth doing one of these guys right here, just taking out 4 of those. I know blasting this out is going to render this slope useless, but honestly, who cares? We have bigger problems to worry about. And, of course, putting a staircase probably right here would do us a whole lot of good without using a whole bunch of dynamite. They'll get to it when they get to it, and we'll just have to remember to do that. But these guys have done a very good job so far of taking care of our needs with the sunflowers and the cabbages. And since we're already here, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about this. The strategy that would be a little bit better versus what we've currently done seems to be, based on your comments, that the crops that are going to be a little bit longer to grow, like, say, for example, the sunflowers, should always be in a spot where they're not going to have any chance of being poisoned or unirrigated under ideal conditions. So, you know, this middle water area surrounding that probably would be a great place for that to go. But also, if they're closer to the farmhouses, they're going to be harvested first, if they're available, versus further away. And this, we'll put this on triple speed just to get through the night here. This area is kind of mixed in a little bit, and I did change these to cabbages closer here in case, well, you know, if they get poisoned, it only takes 5 days to grow instead of, you know, almost 7, and they're a little bit lower maintenance, a little bit more tolerant to that kind of stuff. Just have to move on from there. But we've got some dynamite here we haven't blown up, so you know what that means. It means B for boom. And that space should, all else equal, get nice and cleaned up from here at a time of its own choosing, apparently. I don't know, I thought that was supposed to be... Yeah, it's in range here, and this is in the no poison... There it goes. There it goes. Good job. So obviously that's going to be cabbage. I guess that's just going to go away. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, you know what? We've got sunflowers here that can be picked up. I really don't want to get rid of them. But you see we have a lot of sunflower oil now, and the reason we have so much is we're not really using it fast enough because of, you know, different recipes we've changed. Take this out of triple speed. We're going to have to take a look at all of that, but again, we're doing what we can. I'm not going to say it again. But still, good progress has been made in that regard. And yes, we do have a lot of space over here. Yes, it would be great for us to have a whole bunch of farms in this area, but remember, this is frequently poison. So planting right here, you know, it's great for 2/3 of the time, but any amount of time that it's going to have bad water flowing by, it's all going to get killed. So this would not be a place I'd want to plant something like sunflowers, or especially not green peas. But we do have some spots here that I think would be a good place to plant some more resilient crops, so we don't have to stress out about it quite so much. This green pea farm is mostly protected by the irrigation lodge. You'll note that we do have our cabbages up here that do unfortunately get poisoned when this is bad water, but it ends up being fine. On a long enough timeline where we make a lot more dynamite, we can flatten a bunch of this out and it's going to be perfect, and so on and so forth. But we can do something here, because this is going to be mostly full, and just, you know, make things not be incredibly stupid. Now, we have all this rubble on the ground. Let's get that picked up, because, you know, they're never going to pick it up unless I tell them it's the absolute highest priority. And then this pile of dirt doesn't need to be here, because we're not really planning on making any more of this kind of stuff. If we really, really wanted to be extra, we could just, you know, put a whole bunch of levees in here, and that would decrease the amount of poison that could reach in. But honestly, I think this is okay. It's fine. If we're not going to do anything crazy with this, probably just grow some cabbages, because that's a very low maintenance crop. A single farmhouse could handle, you know, a small thing here. I don't think that would be a bad thing, and would also, you know, give a little bit more of a purpose to this district here. So, seeing that, I will pop this probably right about here. Makes sense. And that will leave me room to put a second one next to it if I really, really, really want to. But yeah, the easy thing is just to plant cabbages, because we're always going to need them. And if they're over here, they're low maintenance crops, super easy to get into. We also have this area down here. This will technically reach in, and this is a really safe place, assuming this stays irrigated. Which, remember, we're playing normal mode, so 9-day droughts, 9-day bad tides, theoretically. This will never, ever evaporate. So, in this little, you know, this little hollow down here, probably not a bad idea to just plant some green peas in a very safe location. That is always going to be okay. Because keep in mind, we do have these farms here, and if we, you know, adjust things slightly, they can reach through all of this as well. So, might not be a super popular thing, but if I just unplant these, and we just have this path continue on this way, then this would be very, very easy for us to blast that out, and just get this connected straight the way here, which would also eliminate the need for us to have this path going here, and would give us a little bit more flexibility in this space. But it's all about making incremental improvements as we can. Doesn't have to be super, super complicated stuff. But we do have some trees here that we can cut down. Nice and simple. Just put in a lumberjack here so that can get picked up. Again, we're going to have to keep shuffling things around. We do have 4 vacancies, because we don't have quite enough beavers here. Just going to need to have a little bit more in that regard. And, excuse me, this farmhouse will give us 3 additional slots. We will need to make sure we import those beavers, because if not, then we have a bed deficit, and then we create an infinite baby-making factory, and then the population gets huge, and then all sorts of just horrible things happen. Just absolutely bad time. So, we'll triple speed this. Get this farmhouse complete. I will go ahead and set the population minimum for District 2, which I still have not run a naming poll on. I keep forgetting. So, yell at me in the comments about that. No, I'm actually asking you to remind me, not being sarcastic. So, set that minimum to 45. That'll get this offset just enough. Hopefully. Yeah, 3 homeless beavers. Now they can just go right in there. And we're looking pretty good. Pretty good. We got other stuff we can attend to, though, so we're going to continue working as we can. Set this off. And stairs in. Honestly, I probably could and should. Oh, I don't have enough dynamite, though. Tell you what. Let's make this easier on ourselves. Let's blast this out first, and then put the path in. So we can actually connect all of this. Of course, we have to wait for these to get pulled out of the ground, and I'm not going to delete these without having a harvest because, you know, green peas make the world go round with the Waterbeavers for so many different recipes. Just got to take our time. Got to make sure that it's all correct. All right. We did also, you know, start making some mushrooms over here. I'm sure that has helped. We've got all of these unbelievably tall bamboo stalks here that we are getting all sorts of stuff from, but it's not really being used that much because pollution resistance factor doesn't use it. Endothermic essence does, and that's what I had been making over here until I switched to the recipe for the alcohol distillation that uses chestnut beer. And of course, chestnut beer has to be actually brewed, fermented, or whatever. Now we actually have fermentation barrels here, here, and then the house here that'll, you know, house beavers. That's what houses do. And start that process. I think that should be okay if everything's right here. But we don't have a storage nearby for chestnuts, and that is going to be something we need to solve. And just to make things a little easier here, I can make this long, tiny warehouse. It'll hold 72 of those. Nice and simple. Set that to obtain. That should help substantially. We have this mushroom grower on a fast mushroom recipe. It probably doesn't need to be. It probably should be on the bad mushrooms instead. But we were in, you know, crisis mode. And we have 500 of these things. We're not using them. So I'm not going to mess with that quite yet. These two are set to brain-stimulating mushrooms. But, you know, we don't have sawdust, so it's going to make more sense long-term, now that we're not in terrible mode, to turn these to slow growth. Because it doesn't have to be monitored constantly by beavers. Otherwise, you know, the fast recipe is really good. Obviously, it's fast, but requires so many more materials get brought in, and especially the sawdust. I do remember engaging in a couple comments on the last video asking about that. So there you go. I do still have some of these on fast mode again, because it's nice to have. But now that things have stabilized considerably, we can switch some of these back over to the slow recipe. Because, you know, these guys making sawdust just can't keep up. These guys making screw press axles absolutely need to keep making that, because, you know, we use that for stuff. It's very important. It's one step in a very, 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 very long, very complicated thing that we're trying our best to work through. All right, continuing to move down the list. I talked a couple episodes back about putting a dam between here and here to prevent this from being pumped out. I think long-term, it might just make more sense to deepen the river, especially under the straws, or to have protective channels that aren't going to get always sucked out, but still allow us to pump a decent bit. And to help save some of these things we're working on here and working on here when everything does get pumped out, we do have this to hold a pretty decent amount of water for the middle here, and I think that's fine. It probably would not be a bad idea to do something else kind of over here or over here-ish a little bit, but not a huge priority. Just want to acknowledge that that's a thing that we can do. This area here, we have all these blueberry bushes, which, hey, blueberries are great. We need those, but now we have methods to make them artificially. We have, the florist can do that, and this thing, not the giant sequoia, the tree nursery can plant them. And once we clear enough space to actually use over here, we should have them planting those berries instead. So, what's going to make sense for the sake of the future of the chestnut production, which is going to be really important for making the strong alcohol and other things, probably just remove all these berries and plant more chestnut trees, which brings us to this forester, which someone said, hey, do you really need this anymore? Well, no, not really. But before we get rid of it, if we're going to have more chestnut trees, we need to take care of that. So, I'm not going to, you know, sit here crying over, oh, the berry bushes are going to be gone. But we do need to get rid of those and bring in chestnut trees behind that. Of course, it's going to take them forever to do this, so it's one more thing to, you know, run, peel it, and come back later. So, we talked about farms in the 2nd District, triple speed to get through the night here. No beaver's going to explode here. And yeah, see, this irrigates all the way up here. That's going to be fantastic. I'm going to, I suppose, have this probably here or here. I want to see how far the irrigation goes on that lower level, because that would be tremendously good to have that. These guys are working hard, of course. We got the 0-0s, no baby making factories here. Take that off of triple speed so we don't lose too much time here. Continuing down the list. We talked about clockwork farms last episode. That is, again, one of those things we really need to get into at some point, but at the expense of doing other stuff, not so much. Just, just keep it on the radar. Very expensive. Takes 1,000 water each, so we're not going to be able to afford this until we bring our water production up to snuff. And honestly, right now, this isn't. We're not quite there. We have a decent bit of storage, but honestly, we need to have more than 10,000. And that would require we build a whole bunch more tanks, or I put another giant buried tank in. I don't quite have enough metal for that. And the medium tanks, oh, you know what? I don't have the metal fasteners for that either. Okay, so maybe we can't really do too much right now. Let's just make... so this hasn't been prioritized, so we're not getting the benefits of having all these mechanized pumps. That's something we can keep working on, and we will. Oh, we have all these berries here. I can't remember if we're actually harvesting or not. Probably should. Probably should do something about that. There's just all these other things we've been trying to take care of. Alright, we're at the point now where we are removing those guys. Let's start planting chestnut trees. Wherever we can, get these guys on the job. Taking care of that, hopefully, before too much longer. This area is not marked for cutting, nor should it be. That is a very good thing that we are not cutting those. And these berries up here, I remember we made a kind of a big deal last couple episodes about clearing the brambles out of here so we could have more berries. In an ideal world, we would just be producing all of the berries artificially. Well, they're still real berries, but we have all of these things to play with that can clear up other farming space, and then maybe we could put in a... If I can remember where this thing is, there we go. Another one of these somewhere. It's just stuff to think about, stuff to consider, because it does always take time. But we can't keep leaning on that without actually accomplishing things. So we're going to need to put in additional barriers to make more of this land plantable. We've made some nice progress by putting the liquid storage house here, which of course stores water and gives us some beavers that can work as haulers. But this these two high things here, this is fine. This is actually keeping a decent bit of the poison out, but we are going to need to get more stuff popped in here. And that's where we have these levees. If we had enough pine resin, which, we have almost 400 now, but keep in mind there's stuff that wants to use that we have currently paused. So, using, sparing application of levees to eventually help solve a lot of these problems. We'll get there. We'll get there. But I do think this space we have right here is going to continue getting infected until more of this has been done. Obviously, they, can't reach this yet, but that is pretty easily accessible with a little 2x1 bridge. They can grab up this stuff. I think we're just going to have to take it a little bit slow there. Next item, more giant log storage. Our wonderful beavers in the giant tree feller have felled the giant trees, and now they don't have enough to fell anymore because each of these gives 2 giant logs, and the storage currently has 4 out of 5 slots, so it's going to need some more. And that, I have to remember exactly where that is. One of these things. No, here it is. It has to be unlocked. 200 science. And it also requires metal fasteners, which we don't have. And we don't have those because we can't produce the scrap metal. We can't, so on and so forth. We'll get there. We'll be alright. But we also don't have anything to do with the giant logs right now anyway, because we haven't built the advanced sawmill. Which, again, everything begets everything. It's 1,000 HP. We will get there. It's going to be okay. We have to take baby steps. We have to make sure we're getting other stuff accomplished. Primitive smelters do not have enough iron ore, basically across the board. I've got 3 beavers working on this, and it's 5 hours to get 5 iron ore. Over here in the coal land, same deal, but it's coal and we have tons of coal. So, seeing the limited amount of beavers that we have available to do basically anything, it probably doesn't make sense to increase the amount we have working here, but I'm going to double this to 6, because we need to get scrap metal going. We'll pull them out of other stuff. We have stuff prioritized to the point where it should be able to mostly handle itself, but we'll still have to monitor things. Plant some additional chestnut trees, let these guys continue their work here. And of course, once they're done, this forester can be removed, and we can unplant, or mark for unplanting, not remove. Some of these pine trees, they'll grow naturally in here, and that'll help us out considerably there. Next item on the list, we're just rocketing through this list, and then we're going to really dive into doing some big fixes here. We've talked about removing the bad water and changing farm stuff, but I haven't really told you guys exactly what I'd like to do here. Obviously, we have the water wheels here that are making power for screw presses and all that. But remember, long term, my goal is to put a nuclear reactor here. A little bit of terraforming required, of course. But seeing how that is not going to be viable for, I don't know, at least another 10 episodes, maybe, we can't really forsake this current setup for the benefit of something that's not going to be, doable for a long time. So we're going to leave this in place. But once some sort of alternative power or some other structure we use to make power come over here happens, all of this bad water, well, this won't be coming out of here. We'll just have these two right here, which, as much as I would love to just not have to worry about bad water anywhere, we do still need it for recipes. So we will have to have some sort of bad water, but we don't have to have it come all the way out here, especially all the way down here. We could pretty easily, with a little bit of finagling here, take in, because this is on ground, but this is on a platform, and so is this. All we would have to do, based on the flow we have right here, is just take either like 1 or 2 rows of this out, which is just 6 pieces of dynamite. That's all it would be. And just shunt this off right here. And some of it would still get all the way out here, but we could eventually put some buildings in here that would stop the flow. The GMO growing lab would be a good example of something like that. And then once that's done, a lot of this land becomes a lot easier to grow stuff on, and this wouldn't have to be on the, repel pollution thing. It could just be on regular, and then it wouldn't have to be this whole drama of, oh, they ran out of stuff again. So I think we have 9 explosives. This probably is one of the things that would make the biggest difference for us right now. However, keep in mind, we do have one of these small bad water pumps here that would be rendered useless if that happens. So that would cause us to have to put in something else over here. But there's a whole lot of buts going on here. Where in the world is the bad water? I always forget this. It's under science? Yeah, okay. This one is powered, and we're actually making power here now. So for 50 HP, all we'd have to do is just build one of these over in this general area, get it, connected up. And then every hour, we get like 33 bad water. Versus with 2 of these running, every hour we get 6. It's like, obviously that's a better outcome to build this. I hadn't built it before because I didn't have power enough over here, but now look at this. We're making way more power than we need. And I don't think it would be very difficult for us to get this connected. We would just need to maybe pop this guy right about here and then put some sort of waterproof thing. I don't think it would be hard. And if we're diverting here, then obviously all this water would just come down that way. So I think that is going to be something we can start the process of right now. I have almost 1,000 bad water. That's fine. This medical bed can be removed. This one can be removed. This can be disconnected, which it's going to get rebuilt. I have to blow something up, right? So pop that there. They will eventually put that in. We're already making more dynamite, so that's going to be a great, great, great problem solver right there. This will retain some bad water because, well, it's a hole, so not much you can do about that. But this down here not being polluted, it's going to be a huge, huge win. Let's peel this back. This is all built on stilts, which, hey, that's what I had available at the time. But because of how this is set up here, I think we could very simply, well, we'd have to remove these water tanks and all the other tanks and stuff, and just blast all of this down one more level, and then we could line it with waterproof buildings of 1 or 2 levels high, or layer some sort of something without blasting, maybe, I don't know. Different ideas, different options we have available to us that would keep the bad water going that way, and then, you know, stack storage on top of it, so on and so forth. Lots to get to. Again, another project that they will eventually be able to take care of. And I guess, yeah, they're working on this. We got clay, we got pine resin. We have 562 clay. I know a couple people mentioned that. These guys can also pan for gold, and they can use some of the dirt that we're making from a mechanical drill, which currently is full of dirt. And, you know, can't really do anything else because it's full of dirt, and we have 1,400 dirt. And I'm over here saying, why do we have enough coal or iron or anything? Like, well, you just dumb, replace whatever word you want in that. Your clay pit isn't using the dirt, and there's 4 beavers that work there. They shouldn't have a problem doing that. But now I don't remember if I actually have more than 1 clay pit, so let's just check here. I do, in fact, have 2. And now they're both making gold. Well, they're panning for gold. What do we do with all those gold dust things? Well, there's different things we can use them for, like these weird statues, but we don't currently have enough to actually do much of anything with them. We have to make bars to build these monuments as well. Which, how do you do that, you might ask? Well, you can go in here to the factory, and I actually don't remember what the recipe is for that. Let's take a look. It's in a book. Yeah, 100 gold dust, 50 coal gives you 1 gold bar. We're not there yet, so not even any point in trying to make that happen yet. But it's on the list of stuff to do. Next item. I know we're spending a whole lot of time talking about stuff, but we're finally in a spot we can actually do it. Oh, I should have done this one first. All of these things that I paused probably should be unpaused so we can, you know, pump additional water because now we're on day 7. But I don't want to pull too many beavers away from other stuff. I do have them pumping from the attachments here without increasing population. That's honestly, it's probably okay. It could definitely be better, but you know, progress is progress. And this was irrigated all the way up to here. I think, yeah, I think I want to blast the rest of this out. Well, that's as far as that goes, but something was growing there. We'll get there when we get there. Just trying to get back to all this different stuff. This guy can definitely have more to do now. I know this is all planted. Every little bit counts, you know. Everything matters. Plant some more cabbages here. Now, we talked earlier in the episode about wanting to put things that are a little bit more demanding to take care of, grow slower, closer to the farmhouse. This is the exception because this is always going to be polluted during a bad tide. And that's why I planted these guys down here, and they're still working on putting some of that in. That's why I'm doing this way. In case you forgot. But the rest of this, fine here. I guess I probably... Yeah, I'm probably going to want to put the other farmhouse here, actually, when I double this up. So this can be cabbages here. Plenty more, but, you know, I only have 1 beaver working right now because I haven't built the second farmhouse yet. Probably worth doing that soon. Yeah, there's still a couple trees left to cut down, so working on that. Let's triple speed through the night here. Are we actually making progress with iron ore? I hope so. Yeah, we just can't keep up. I should build, and I know people have kind of gotten on to me about not doing this yet. I should build another mechanical drill for iron. But I'd have to take these things out. There's a lot we got to get to. We're still not in a great spot with food. We're working on fixing it. Working on it. It is, of course, a very slow process. But the Firefly grooming station is getting there. Just needs one more metal fastener and another round of insect larvae, which will be here in less than a day. So that's exciting. Moving right on down the list, we should take a look real quick. Take this on single speed. Take a look at our lumberjacks and see who is and is not necessary. Come on. Wow, I really only have 4 of these? Okay, this guy here obviously is working on that stuff. Totally fine. This guy here is working on that. Totally fine. This guy here, this lumberjack flag right in the middle, probably doesn't need to be here. But the wood felling planification lodge is on the other side of the district. So having this guy over here to grab these brambles is not a bad thing. But long term, we want to get these brambles out of here and blast this down to be the same level as this farm. Most likely, this could end up being poisoned because of the bad water. But we do need to take advantage of our domesticated brambles as much as we can as more space becomes available. And look at that. This guy right here already made a big difference. Just that one levy in the pollution stuff. So let's take a look at our last lumberjack flag, which is right here. And this one actually doesn't need to be here. This would be a great place to put a tapper's flag. This is something somebody said in a comment, and then I replied to it. I think I replied to it. Because we're not cutting any more trees down here. This guy can immediately be replaced with a tapper's flag, which I've moused over like 3 times and then not done anything with. This building, again, is a harvester's cottage. So this is taking care of the chestnut trees and previously the berry bushes, which, thanks for reminding me, I need to plant more chestnut trees. It cannot tap the pine trees. This guy right here, right in the middle of pine land, good idea. This guy right here, right in the middle of, well, everything, but also pine land, good idea. This storage right here for pine resin, good idea. That's fine. Once these are all planted, the forester goes away, like we talked about, I don't know, 30 minutes ago, maybe. But yeah, they'll have to come back and take a look at that. I already talked about berries down here. It will unfortunately just take time, but what I can do is I can plant more domesticated brambles on these 6 spaces, which should help us a lot. Long term, we want a wood felling planification lodge in this general area. You already know what I was going to say after that. So, pathing cleanup is another thing, and as much as I'd love to just take a whole episode and do that, we're still not quite in the spot where that's going to be possible. But it does need to be addressed at some point. I'm not saying I'm ignoring it. We just got bigger fish to fry. They haven't even put any dynamite here yet. They got so much going on. But we're working. We're working on it. Now, here's another big one. Productivity of buildings. This has come up a couple times, where some of these buildings just have abysmally low productivity. So, like, this is 3% on the screw press. Now, part of that reason is because it's full. And that's on me for not having anywhere else to put sunflower oil. But that's a different thing from what I'm talking about now. Even if it had somewhere to put the stuff, it's probably not going to be a super productive building. Just by virtue of the supply of sunflower seeds not being great. Now, we do have 200 of them in this screw press, and 200 in this one, and 200 in this one. But keep in mind, we're also not using as much sunflower oil as we previously have, because we have a lot of stuff that's been messed up. So, on goods consumption, again, one of the best mods that's ever been made for this game. Absolutely huge. Sunflower oil section all the way down here. Currently, we only have 2 buildings turned on using it. And I know there's a lot more that can. We have this cooking house that's making fried rice. And we have this mechanized kitchen house that is also making fried rice. I was going to put another one of these in, because, you know, we actually have the means to do more stuff, but we keep getting distracted. I wonder why. But this now since I do have 5 of these medium cauldrons, this would be a good time to go ahead and do that. Just get that flipped. I love that I can stack these. This is great. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So we have down here making mushroom stew, and that is thriving. Still probably should have a 3rd one of these so we can actually have some stored here, but they're making it. It's feeding the beavers. This one is making fried rice. This one I would also like to have making fried rice. They'll get it done when they get it done. This is going to, of course, increase the population and slowly drag the vacancies closer to where they need to be. But all else equal, if we didn't have any incapacitated beavers, we'd have like 15 without a job. So still need to kind of pay attention to this, but given the the overall population we have of 331, it's not that bad to have 10% incapacitated, which normal Timberborn game, there would be absolute cataclysm. But again, this is Waterbeavers. Bad stuff happens. The mild disease bit, though, with 10 of those guys on that, probably has a lot to do with the amount of fermentation barrels that are no longer making half-fermented sake that is used to treat the injuries. Because we cleaned out the rice supply trying to keep up with the rice ball production, which is not something we need to, focus on as much anymore. We have braised cabbage, which 1,600 mushrooms and 109 cabbage, not really a whole balanced supply chain for that. But remember, we're making more cabbages now. So if I change one of these over to the braised cabbage recipe, it's going to stop using quite so much rice, which I know we only have 10. It's going to get better. That'll be fine. We need to make a little bit better usage of this space here. I believe we're probably okay with just this amount planted. We just need to utilize it slightly better. Maybe blast out some more space to grow it or plant in this area. Probably the easiest thing to do right now is just to plant more of that here. It is still in range. That is the limit of the range for these guys, and I do have a little bit over here if I really, really want to punish myself, but they're going to do what they're going to do. We have made some really nice progress so far. I hope you can hope we can appreciate that. I know we haven't spent a lot of time in triple speed running around placing everything, but we're making refinements that will long term really, really help us out. Next item, talked about the water pumps, so I don't need to address that. I hope by this point, yes, and they do have this. Blast away. This can become a staircase right there. And then, of course, I will plant additional sunflowers. Now, you saw that we had 600 sunflowers in waiting to be processed into the sunflower oil. Keep in mind, we haven't activated all of the supply chains for this that use the sunflower oil yet. It's not a slam dunk. Oh, we have everything forever. No. That's it's not going to be good once we turn all the rest of this back on. We have alchemists that previously were using this to make basic balm, which is something that we do for the burns. And there's 7 minor burns right now. I'm going to turn this alchemist back on and this alchemist back on. 2 out of the 3, just to keep things going. This I'm going to leave paused. This one is making brain-boosting salts. That's fine. This one making nitroglycerin was using sunflower oil. Turn that back on. See, now we're gonna see this really go down quick. And Tara, of course, uses sunflower oil, but we need that to make more tanks. So on it goes. Triple speed this to let things get settled a tiny bit. And now all of a sudden we have 28 vacancies. We have 16 free beds because all of this has opened up again. So still plenty to think about, still plenty to do. We are making good progress still. Let's not get discouraged here. Food is still at 2,800. Needs to be creeping up a little bit faster than that, but it's going to level out. And guess what? The Firefly grooming station is up and it is technically running, but it is in need of frozen human meat. And then at that point, we will have glowing fluid, which of course gets used for other stuff. This right here needs strong alcohol to get the frozen human meat. The strong alcohol currently is supposed to be produced by this thing here. We just don't have enough chestnut beer being brought in. And that is because this one guy's all by himself. It's not prioritized by haulers. I'm going to try not to overuse hauler prioritization if I don't have to. But cause the recipe stuff is all right here. It's chestnut beer, logs. It's all right here. Oh, well, if there were actually logs here, there would be stuff, but you know how it goes. Insect larvae is like an insatiable thing. We just, you know, have to have it still coming in. I do need a second one of these, but I excuse me, haven't built this yet because we don't have enough metal fasteners or scrap metal. And that all comes back to here, which this is making some. This one's not, this one's not, this one's not, this one's not. They do have beavers in there, but we still don't have enough iron ore. Even though these guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And now we're going to be running out of tools pretty quick, too. And I never built that third primitive ironworks here. See, this is waiting on scrap metal. Oh, this is making tools. Okay. Never mind then. That's fine. That's just a little slow. So, every 4 hours we get 2 more tools, which is 1 tool every 2 hours. This mine, every 2.5 hours, uses 0.01. Okay, so that's not going to be a problem. Just need to stay on top of that. Population is going to continue to grow slightly. I think, you know, 22 vacancies as the rest of these things start to improve a little bit. I can probably get by having... Let's just go straight to 10. Why not? Get a jump start on that and see what other jobs we can get rid of. Because remember, we have all of these chestnut trees done, which means this is only one job, but that gets taken out. Does not need to be there anymore. I will just unplant these 3. Let these things, you know, do what they got to do. And everyone moves on and has a little bit of a better time. Checking back in on these guys. Looks like they just finished all of this except this last one. And there's a little bit more. Oh, there's a lot more over here that's become available. That's great. Giant sequoias right now, we don't need to worry about having a ton. But keep in mind, I only have 8 giant logs right now, and there's going to be some stuff coming up pretty soon that's going to be important for us to have stuff. So the clockwork hydroponic farms, again, we're kind of far off. But if we want to stack these, we have to make... Oh, giant log bridge is something else. We have to make the mega platforms, which are this thing right here. That's for stacking those. It's 1,000 science. We're not going to have that for a long time, but we need to keep it in mind. We also have bridge platforms that we can use to connect different buildings, and these giant pillars that, well, they're giant pillars. They'll use the big logs, and then some of these other buildings do require the large logs as well, like the advanced sawmill. So we're going to want to have more than 8, but I don't want to put it on prime real estate, the big storage. So one of the next things we probably need to do is remove this guy here so we can plant additional giant sequoias. I was kind of wary of doing this before we had all of this poison diverted, but we're making some really good progress on that front now. And you take a look at how this is laid out. I know it's kind of hard to see, but these are 3x3, and they take up that much space. So I can't plant something here because it would clash with this building, which probably could and should be moved, but this is still poison right now. I can't plant anything here because that would clash with that. That's why that's left open. This one's 3x3 here. I can put one right here, and I think I will. Now that this is actually, you know, unpoisoned space. That'll take up this, etc., which means I can put another one here, which will go all the way to that corner. And that'll get us 2 more of these giant sequoias, which again, they take 50 days to grow. So even if you don't need it right now, if you think you might within the next 2 cycles, or you might want to start having, you know, more of that around, just find a spot and do it. No weeping or gnashing of teeth necessary there. The dynamite issue is going to kind of slow some of our other stuff down in terms of progress, but if we have them placed here, and we do, they're ready to go. B for boom. Alright, so we should see, not all of this disappear quite yet, but it's going to start making its way down here. I have plenty of scaffolding, so let's just do one of those again. Bring this down here. We probably aren't going to need to have so many medical beds for minor burns, but they were already over here. Let's just put them back. It's not a big deal. This, over time, we'll have everything shoved through it. Shouldn't be an issue because this is the edge of the map. Flow-wise, plus this won't exist at some point. So now, well, maybe not today, but we can start the process of placing items in here that will block flow and make it a little bit better. But again, one step at a time. We're making good progress. Let's come over here, take a look at our farm. Okay, this guy... Oh, I didn't mark that one? All right, well, go cut that down. I guess we'll plant the rest of those. This pile of dirt doesn't need to be here, and they haven't picked any of this up either, because we don't have space for it to be stored. Yeah, we're going to need to get some bigger piles in here, because the dirt situation's not cutting the mustard. Who even cuts mustard anyway? It's like a liquid. Well, hopefully it's not a liquid. I don't know, I had some really good German mustard that came in like the metal squeeze tube. It's hard to find, kind of expensive in the US, but I really did like that stuff. Not a fan of the yellow mustard that ends up being half liquid either. It's just bleh. The stuff you buy at the Walmart or whatever. Man, the iron ore we can't get enough of it. No matter how much. It just is not fast enough. So we really do need to put another one of these mechanical drills. But keep in mind, these guys go through drill bits. I mean, not super fast, but fast enough to, you know, pay attention to. And that is going to have to be made in a factory. And we currently have these guys kind of sidelined a little bit because we don't have a whole lot of scrap metal. But we can't ignore that forever. That's going to be something we need to work on. This is waiting on tools. Yeah, the tool production is an issue. These guys, of course, waiting on a scrap metal. All right. Oh, man, is there anywhere else? I mean, I could probably, without too much, I really need better material than just use weeping or gnashing of teeth every 5 seconds, but I don't know. I thought it was funny. This is going to have that connected there. Okay, these pine trees that are dead can definitely be cut down and used. So if I mark... Oh, these are all marked for cutting. Let's not cut down all the trees that can still give us pine resin, because pine resin is kind of important. But I think everything else, obviously, if it's already dead, can be chopped down. That's not going to be a problem at all. Give these guys a lumberjack flag here, just to facilitate that. And we'll have... I know this is weird to, like, backtrack up here, but yeah, it's fine. These guys can get at least some metal harvested. They still haven't gotten this one yet? Alright, well that one should be the very next one harvested just as soon as it gets to 100%. I think I will blast... Maybe I won't blast. Maybe I'll just leave this alone. Yeah. Let's not make it too complicated. We're not looking for pixel perfect whatever. I need better access between these two areas. And then removing this path will also help us out down here long term. Alright, so good stuff happening here. I think we are ready for a second farmhouse. And this guy has finished what he was supposed to be doing. This will, of course, increase our beaver capacity in this district by 3, which will mean we have to go to 48. Food situation's looking pretty good, if only for having mushrooms. That's fine. Water situation's okay. Day 10, water is still looking okay, but remember, we have 335 beavers. We really should have more than 10,000 water stored up. And I was kind of waiting to build additional capacity because I didn't have the stuff to build anything because I'm not making enough scrap metal. But if we can start harvesting some of this, that's going to go a long way. Food up at 3,500 is looking a whole lot better than it has in the past. Let's give them a fighting chance here of, you know, actually getting something accomplished by pre-placing this guy. So this job, and then this job in the farmhouse will be offset in terms of beaver supply by the 3 who live here once we import them, so that's good. Are we putting other stuff in here? What is the deal with the iron ore? I don't understand it, man. Coal. I'm going to maybe do a bad thing and switch this one to iron ore also. Just so we, you know, have a fighting chance of getting something done here. Yeah, just lots and lots to keep up with. No frozen human meat. Not yet. This is waiting on more strong alcohol. Chestnut beer. I think they're just drinking it. I mean, yeah, okay, sure. Have fun, but this is supposed to be for science, not for your own personal gain. So, triple speed through the night again here. We haven't solved all the problems we talked about so far in the episode, but we have touched on everything in my notes. At least a little bit. So, obviously, still stuff needs to get fixed, taken care of, so on and so forth, is what it is. I think, depending on how we want to run this, I could start putting some other buildings in here that will be waterproof, and then slowly replace things. Alright, we got a drought coming in 3 days. Let's not worry about that for right now, because we really need to make sure we have... Oh, we're not even close to filling up our storage. Need to have water. So, let's solve this problem here. I'm going to pre-import 3 more beavers. Let's go to 48. This should be finished pretty soon. That will take care of most of those problems here. I got 1 beaver who isn't working, and that's fine because this guy will be going up there just as soon as possible. This tree is being removed. But we got to get pumping speed up, and this is where you get to say, I told you so. You should have just unpaused this in the beginning. So, there you go. Let loose the hounds of war, or whatever that phrase is, and come on in here and pump away. It's what these beavers love to do anyhow. We shouldn't have a population boom in 3 days of doing this. If we do, well, worse things have happened, but we can kind of mitigate that by pausing a couple of these pit and ladder lodge segments. Get this to even out just a touch. Yeah, we got so many of these builder ones we don't really need to have working as builders. Let's... I shouldn't cut off all of my builders. Let's pause that. Okay, so now I only have 3 extras. That's tolerable. That's a lot better. And our vacancies are down to 31. Incapacitated 29. That's a good place to be. We got the mild disease. That's bramble flowers. But the burns have gone down. And then the minor injuries have also massively gone down. So I'm assuming that means our rice situation is looking slightly better. No, there's no half-fermented sake here either. Yeah, I still only have 10 rice. Okay, so this... We're going to need more rice. But keep in mind, we have a clockwork farm for rice. Yes, it's expensive to build. No, we will not get there next episode or the episode after that or the episode after that or the episode after that. But we will get there. Still only 10 strong alcohol here, huh? Well, oh, we are one away from enough to make another 10 strong alcohol. Okay, this one's about to have 60 come out. I mean, if it's this close, hopefully it doesn't become an issue. This guy is just waiting on metal fasteners, predictably. But that's going to be some more beavers working on fermenting and also some living over here that can help. Maybe, just a little bit. Have we solved any problems here? No iron ore. Even though we have beavers living, working, whatever. Well, a couple of these are on at least. Tool situation is looking okay. It's not looking great, but... yeah, scrap metal's still a problem. Okay, now this can get hooked up. I know it's really super not ideal, but there is scrap metal here to be found, and we can continue obtaining it. Let's give ourselves a staircase here as well. That'll give us another 75 up there, 45 down here. This is on a separate tile, which is why that's probably not going to get reached. But we'll get there. We can go across here as well. Just gives this guy something to do. How are we looking here? 0-0. Love to see it. Everything's working splendidly well. We've got beavers harvesting cabbages. We've got green peas here. This is still not finished. Come on, man. 89%. Well, I have been trying to, avoid runaway triple speed problems, and I think we've been pretty successful with that. Food is still continuing to rise, which is good to see. Chestnut beer is in the process of being turned into strong alcohol, and hopefully sometime soon these guys get their, stuff to get their stuff to get their stuff to, whole deal. Insect larvae situation is also looking quite nice. I don't see it stored anywhere else, but, I mean, this has an extra one, so that works. This one will get turned on at some point. Mushroom situation's looking really good. Yeah, the 4,000 food situation is half mushrooms, but we're working on it. And braised cabbage, already just with the one guy, is up to almost 300. Rice balls still continuing to rise as one should. Yeah, just lots and lots of stuff to take care of. These guys pumping have substantially closed our gap, but we do still have extras. I really want to build another one of these giant ones. That would be fantastic, but we don't have enough metal yet. And we don't have we don't have enough metal fasteners to build the medium ones. The only other real option we've got, unfortunately, is build storage houses. Which, you know, it's only 200 each. If we fill this up, then I guess that's something we can, you know, mess with, but I'm not gonna worry about it. We are up to 9 gold dust. And the pointer statue, which, you know, kind of cool, it takes 30. We could build a pregnant statue if we felt like spending 200 science on it, which, no. Upside down statue, 200 science. Again, I don't want to spend the science quite yet, but that would be a use of one of the giant logs if we, you know, decided that was a super important thing. And for the, you know, the end of the playthrough, where we're just disgustingly, obscenely wealthy with gold bars everywhere, we can build gold fences, and it will give them a little bit of a bonus. But that brings me back to the well-being, because this is something people ask for a whole lot to get improved. And, you know, I hate to just be the guy that says this all the time, but like Waterbeavers does not work the same way as vanilla. It's really hard to get well-being points. Easiest way to do it is with food. And we've had a bad time trying to keep the diversity of food going. But we should be able to get there at some point. Splitting districts up will help with that as well. Reducing commute times. So, I mean, outside of that, like, everything costs science that we really shouldn't be spending. Because we can't produce science that easily. Because the stuff that gets used in the library isn't that fast to be made. We have brain-boosting salts being the thing that's holding us back here. Which I was under the impression this was working, but we made this guy redundant. And obviously nothing's happening here. We also don't have enough strong alcohol. Remember, everything has an opportunity cost. Was it my economics teacher always said the opportunity cost is the opportunity lost? Which, I don't know, some people are like, that's not how that works. Like, whatever. I didn't go to school for economics, but it helped me understand it, so it is what it is. Still missing the frozen human meat. It'll get there eventually. Just as soon as we have strong alcohol. What are they doing with all this strong alcohol where it's not going in? Because this guy's prioritized by haulers. This one cannot be prioritized by haulers. It should, in theory, be coming out of here in a way that's going to make it possible for us to, you know, actually get something done. They got the ingredients to make another batch. Why they're not? Whatever. I'm just going to get mad if I keep looking at that. So this diversion here is, I thought this was going to, you know, dry this whole thing out back here, but I guess that is not the case. Man, I don't want to keep building liquid storage houses because I don't feel like that's a great way to expand what we're doing. But I don't know, man. It might actually be the way to go. But we still have plenty of other stuff we can do before we get to that point. Plenty of other stuff. Yeah, braised cabbage looking good. This is obviously for that. It's never going to be full until both of these are going. See, I don't really want to turn the rice off. Don't really want to do that, but the rice balls, that is. I don't know. We got stuff we can do. How are we looking over here? Good. How is this not done? I feel like we've been looking at this for this entire episode. Are we getting scrap metal? I'm assuming the answer to that is yes, because this beaver is here. Picking apart ruins, that is fine. This lumberjack flag actually has a couple more it can cut down, so I guess we just leave them alone for now. Tapper's flag has nothing to tap because the trees have not recharged yet. The ones that are accessible, at least. Looks like there's a few over here. If I were to put in a single additional staircase, they could have access to, so why not? Just do it. Get that done. We got berries over here we can be gathering, and they still are doing that. That's fine. We need to plant them over here. So this other one, look at all this. We should have done this a whole lot earlier. I still only have 7 explosives. See, they can't harvest all of this, which means I should put a wood felling planification lodge in. But I want to put berries. We really need to have berries. That's going to require a gatherer flag as well. Well, it's probably something we could do next episode. We're not in crisis mode. We're definitely in a mode where we should be asking questions, but we're not desperate at this exact moment in time. What's the range boost gotten by this staircase? Yeah, okay, look at that. Now they have access to all this. That should help quite a lot. This could be blasted down if we really felt like it. I feel like we're doing okay. Just please, 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 please get me some strong alcohol in here. I guess the haulers need some help. I got 10 here. I got nobody there. I got 5 here. Okay. Well, part of that's also because I told everybody to come over here and pump, and we really don't need to have them pumping. And I took a whole bunch of these guys away. So that's something we can continue working on. Metal fasteners being made. Good. Tools keeping up is good. Kimchi production just isn't happening, folks. Not fast enough, but that's okay because the library doesn't have any brain boosting salts either. I can't use a strong alcohol for that. I can't justify it. When this is holding back so much other stuff. I know it's all holding everything back. But if we were to switch the library over to the other recipe, then we do have the mushrooms. And I guess for right now we do have the sunflower seeds, but it's twice as many berries per recipe. And it's actually, wow, this is half the science. It's like 4 times as expensive on the berries. Maybe that's not worth doing. That's probably not worth doing. Okay, how are we looking here? Masters in Metallurgy is still missing quite a lot of quartz, and of course, that's where the scrap metal's going. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, I can't complain. I literally asked for this, but seeing that that is what's happening, and how some of this is actually useful, I'm going to hit pause on this. They're going to take some of this out, but the scrap metal is just so important to have in other places, and those beavers can go work somewhere else. We'll turn it back on, if I remember. Just, how hard is it to take the strong alcohol from here to here? Unless the 20 that I'm seeing is actually in this district. No, it is not. Okay, well that's good actually. I was kind of going to get annoyed by that. It looks like we're doing really well food-wise. I don't see anything really lagging behind yet, but let's check. Still green peas somehow. Oh, I don't have a green pea storage over here. How did that happen? That is unfortunate. I'm going to have to build mushroom, lotus flowers, chestnuts. Oh, there you go. Get out of here. I should have done this a long time ago. Green pea storage. And then while we're at it, let's see. Cabbages, green peas, logs, lotus flowers, mushrooms, rice, sunflower oil. We have green peas, or we will have green peas. Logs, kind of, over here. Lotus flowers, we have. Mushrooms, we have. Rice, we do not. We need to build a storage for rice. Sunflower oil, we do have. Water, okay. Man, I should have done this a long time ago. Rice, aroni. Where's my rice? There it is. Do people in San Francisco even eat that stuff? I don't know. I feel like advertisers lie to me all the time. So that'll help us there. I think... man, do you remember the older Waterbeavers? You couldn't stack these? Oh, man, I'm so glad you can do that now. It was such a huge pain. I don't think I actually need that there. But I'm going to put this rooftop terrace back in. Just because that was a really nice thing to have. They're probably going to take 800 years to build this, but, you know, that's the way she goes. Triple speed this here. Let's see, anything else that I've started this episode that I've forgotten I've started and need to finish? Like you're going to be able to tell me before I hit upload on this. See, I'd love to have... Aha! Aha! Now that's connected. And these guys can help here, which is going to really make a big difference. I'm going to blast this out when the time comes. We have more dynamite. That's going to be great. And since this is a drought coming up, it's not going to immediately, you know, poison all of our cabbages. And these look like they're growing in anyway. They're just going to be dry for a little bit. Some of these in the corner here. So that's all very, very good stuff. Feeling nice about that. Food continues to climb despite the population also continuing to climb. We're at 4,100. Yes, half of it's mushrooms, but it's fine. Water is up to 8,400 total. Things are looking okay, folks. Looking okay. I just wish we had every... Where is my strong alcohol? It's right here. Why is this not going here? Do I have to just, you know, give it the old heave-ho or what? This firefly is very hungry for human flesh, which is objectively terrifying. But, you know, do what you gotta do. So I think this is probably a decent spot to go ahead and stop for today. And we'll pick up at the start of the drought and next time. But I want to take a moment to thank you guys for watching these videos. I say it every time, but it really is not possible without your support, without your ideas, and especially without your troubleshooting skills and, you know, catching up with all the things I miss, letting me know about it. I always appreciate it. And, of course, critical comments always welcome also, because I'm not going to remember everything. That is abundantly clear. You guys help keep me on track. Beard Boosters also subsidizing the channel, making it possible to do this stuff. Like, you know, 37 episodes of Waterbeavers, where, you know, a lot of people who play this game will have shorter edited stuff. I like making my videos this way. Frankly, it's impossible for me to do the edited ones and still upload daily. It takes way too long. But this is a little bit more casual, a little bit more laid back, and I think a little bit more personable. So I appreciate those of you who enjoy watching these and making that possible. Always going to be thankful. Got other fun stuff coming up in the works as well. We got Project 1K tomorrow, of course, and then continued streams with Satisfactory and Transport Fever 2 as I have time. Still not getting up to daily uploads for the time being. Trying to prioritize some other stuff, get things moving behind the scenes for other projects, and slowly work my way back up to stuff. But I really do appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Whatever it is you're doing, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again very soon for more Beaver fun. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.